The UDU Upland Development United installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of Upland. Their reach was unmatched.
Alrighty, here we are today with another of the Who is UDU series, and today we have UDU member number 68, Miss Octocupcakes. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It was an early start, but I'm getting there. I'm still in my pajamas, actually. That's a bit embarrassing, but never mind. Yes.
Always in the UDU gear. I know you.
Well, I had to put that on for the meeting. That's the whole Zoom top half thing, I think. Yes. So, member number 68,
Yes.
it's a coveted number. How did you manage to get that?
Well, actually DJ got it for me, with a little bit of help from you, because I know you kind of wanted to maybe do a little second name, second number thing going on. I have been working with him for a while now, and he wanted me to join, or, he invited me to join earlier, but I kind of wanted to wait for a number with an 8 in it because, the octos, it's kind of my thing. So I figured I would wait. I was doing the Reddit and I wasn't technically a part of the group, but I felt like a part. I watched the meetings, so.
Yeah, I'd been talking to DJ on and off for a while about what you'd been doing and that sort of thing. And yeah, we kind of coordinated that on the sly. We were keeping an eye on the number. We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Can we find out a bit about who you are, the story behind your name, perhaps, in the game? And it looks like you've got a very cool block explorer behind you there.
Oh, yes. This is my octo on a cupcake, and everybody thinks that's an apple on the top of her head. It's not an apple, it's a cherry, because, cupcake, the cherry on top, so the octo does. Yeah, so I'm Octocupcakes. My name is Dawn, and I live in Boston. I'm originally from North Carolina, but I've been in Boston a long time. And my name is Octocupcakes because octopus are my favorite animals. And cupcakes, I think they're cute. I like to draw them. I don't actually eat them. I tried to eat one yesterday and I was like, I'm not really into this. No more cupcakes. But I still think they're cute. So that's why I'm Octocupcakes.
Nice. And if you're not playing Upland, what are some of your other interests?
Well, I like to do 3D printing, and I like to do resin printing, which is just like another form of 3D printing with a different material. I like to sew. I like to do all kinds of different crafts. I like to draw, anything crafty, basically. And, I have little kids and we hang out all day long. So I guess I also watch Paw Patrol and, SpongeBob a lot.
Yes, my kids have graduated from Paw Patrol and they kind of get the humor in SpongeBob now. They really dig it, so that's pretty cool. So is that sort of things, is that something you do professionally, or is that just a hobby? Or
it's just a hobby. I mean, I have an Etsy store, but it's just a hobby. It's just something I enjoy.
Nice. How long have you been playing Upland?
I started on February 20th. Okay. And I remember that because my birthday is the 21st. So I'll always remember when I started playing.
Nice. So how did you find it?
I play a lot of Nintendo Switch games, and on Reddit, I'm in a lot of different video game subreddits, and Upland was just an ad that popped up to me one day, and I clicked on it, and it actually reminded me, well, in the beginning, it kind of reminded me of a game that I used to play called Board Kings, which is also kind of like a Monopoly-esque kind of game. And I said, well, it doesn't cost any money to give it a try. They give you free money to start out. I might as well see what's going on with this. And I fell in love with it. It's a big part of my life now.
Nice. Where did you start off?
I started off in San Francisco, but I very quickly moved over to New York.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's interesting. As a new player, that seems like something that we're always encouraging people not to do.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had kind of known all of these things. I wish I had, known about the Upland Academy, before I made all of the many mistakes that I made when I started. But, it was fine.
Back in
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, back in February, the Upland Academy didn't exist. The UDU didn't exist, so you did all right. That all came later.
All right then.
Yeah. So you had the choice to choose where you landed. What were the choices at that stage? It would have been San Francisco, Fresno, Manhattan. Was that it?
I don't think I had any choices. They just stuck me in San Francisco.
Oh, wow. And remind me, was that sold out at that stage? No, it wouldn't have been.
No, it wasn't sold out.
Yeah.
There were definitely some things available, but nothing that I was really interested in. At first when I landed, I was like, oh, I'm going to get a nice place by the beach because that's where I'd want to live. And then, obviously none of that's available. So I ended up with, a couple random properties. I don't even know what they are now, but they weren't FSA. That's for sure. That's another, bad thing I did when I started.
So that means if you started in San Francisco, did you start with, was it a 5,000 UPEX?
Yeah, I started with 5,000 and I went through that very quickly. And then I just threw in like $20 and I was good to go.
And that was enough to get you to Manhattan. But I would imagine that once you arrived in Manhattan, it would have been a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, but luckily when I arrived in Manhattan, I just browsed around for a little bit, but very shortly after that, Brooklyn opened and I, headed over to Brooklyn and that's where most of my properties are. Because by that time I had learned about FSA, so.
Nice. And how did you go in the first Brooklyn burn? Were you involved in all of that, the first release?
Yes, I remember it very clearly because I was so frustrated. At first I thought it was something wrong with my internet or there was something wrong with my computer. But then, I hopped on the Discord and everyone was having problems. So I said, it's fine. I didn't get a single thing, but it's all right.
In the first release, you didn't get anything at all?
I got 3 things maybe. It was, definitely not worth the 4 hours or however long that I attempted to mint things.
Yeah, it was definitely not a fun time at that point in time, but that's good that you stuck around and that you were able to find a Discord. Now, I assume because of that, you were already active in Discord in other channels, were you?
I had a few video game channels that I would be in, but at that point I still didn't really understand Discord very well. Because I'm used to, Reddit where it's more like a message board to where you kind of write things and leave it. It's not real time usually. So that was a little bit, to get used to, but now I understand it better, but maybe not as well as I should.
So if you hadn't have found Discord, do you think you would have stuck around?
I probably would have stuck around, but I don't really think I would be as invested in it as I am now. I mean, I play a lot of different mobile games that don't really, they don't really do much for my life. And this one, I feel like it contributes a lot to, my happiness, I guess, which is probably stupid to say, but it does.
No, not at all. It's not stupid at all, I don't think. I think probably now with all this UDU stuff and that, I'm probably more, 90% or more is not playing the game. It's all the stuff outside of the game. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you. I feel the exact same way, but I love it.
Yeah. So it sounds like you come from a gaming background more so than the crypto side of things.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I have a little bit of crypto, different random ones. When I signed up for Coinbase, I had bought some, but then they had these things where if you took these little tutorials, they would give you free crypto of different things. And I would always do that. And some of the ones that they gave me ended up being worth a few $100s. And it only took me 5 minutes to take the tutorial. So that was worth it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did all those and put it straight into UpX
Ah,
back at the
that's a
time.
good idea.
Well, yes and no. If I had held onto it like you did and waited till the prices go up, I could have bought a lot more UpX.
Yes, yes, that's true. I mean, I still have all of mine.
Nice. So do you play around with NFTs or that sort of things as well, or are you engaged in any of that?
Recently, I've become really interested in them. I wasn't really so interested in them before. They just kind of confused me before. But whenever the Upland cards came out, I kind of figured out what the whole NFT thing was about. And now, Angela, she makes NFTs and they're awesome. Like, I love them. So, I can't wait to see more.
And for those that don't know, Angela's the other female member in the UDU, which we've given you a little club name, the LUDU.
The LUDU, the Ladies of UDU.
Hopefully we can get a lot more members in there for you soon.
Yeah, come on, ladies, come join us. It's not scary. No, I know it's a lot of guys, but they're all nice.
Yeah. So what's your current status in the game?
I am a director. I'm a low-level director, but I'm getting there.
So what do you think your main success points were to get from like that pro stage to director? Because we always talk about that. That's quite a big leap from pro to director.
I think it's all of the properties that I bought in Brooklyn. I was able to buy a lot of them on the second wave, and I was able to sell a lot of them really quickly because I had gotten a lot of them on Coney Island, because at that point I could still do FSA, and I was just minting all over the place on Coney Island. And also the little neighborhood that's right next to Coney Island, I can't remember what it's called, Sea View, Sea something. That's a really nice area as well. And there's like a couple bigger pieces there. And I got so many of those and they were easy to sell.
So it was a lot of flipping involved to get you to director.
Yep.
Is that something you're still focused on now? I know for myself, my focus is flip flop backwards and forwards through all sorts of different play styles. How about now that you've reached, you said you're a low level director?
Yeah.
Plan.
I'm not as interested so much in flipping anymore. I would rather buy properties that I really like rather than, a lot of properties that I don't care about. Like, I love to just like browse around, even before opening and just like look for like cool graffiti, like on the walls and like take down the addresses of that. Or I like to buy like spas and salons. I like to buy craft stores, pet stores, stuff like that, stuff that I like in real life, I like to try and buy in the game.
Cool. So we skipped over, but I guess you don't remember what your first property was that you bought?
It was in San Francisco, but it was just, a random rectangle. I don't know what it was.
It's probably up in outer Richmond or somewhere. I think that was one of the only areas that had cheap properties available.
It was somewhere where no one else wanted to be, yes.
Do you know if you still have it?
I think I do still have it. I don't actually think that I flipped anything from San Francisco because I only had like 2 to begin with. I'm sure I could find it eventually, but yeah, I think it was just like a random house. It wasn't even like a cute house.
Nice. So yeah, it's a good move regardless, because you probably picked that up for maybe 3,000-4,000 UpX or something. And now the floor's, what is it, 15, 16, 17, something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably just hang on to it anyway, nostalgia.
Absolutely. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way that have helped make you, especially from that pro to director pathway?
I mean, definitely the main thing is FSAs. If you're new, you need to get as many FSAs as you can. But it's different now, because when I started, you could sell as many FSAs as you wanted during the week, and now they're limited to 2 a week. So I guess that is really kind of an impediment in them progressing as quickly as some of us did that were around before they put in that rule. Another good thing that I would think about if I was starting again was I would get on Discord right away. Like, I wasn't on right away. I would read like the Medium articles that they have on Upland, and at the end it would always say, and come join our Discord. And I was just thinking, I think I'm on Discord. I think I already have a name, maybe I'll go and check it out and, see what it's all about. But like the video game ones I'm in, people don't really talk as much. It's more like if, a new update to the game comes out or something like that. But this was just completely different. It was like a whole community. Like I was excited when I found it, and I was a little scared to like talk to people at first, but eventually I did, and it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. What are some of the other games that you're involved in?
Just Nintendo Switch games. I like Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and I like basically, like the sim games. I like, just like the regular games too, like Mario Kart and like all the Mario series. Nothing that exciting. It's just like a time filler.
Sounds like you enjoy kind of world building aspects and things like that.
I do. I mean, I remember, when the classic Sims came out on the computer, like a really long time ago, like I spent so much time on that. And I mean, even in Animal Crossing, like I don't even really talk to my villagers so much. I'm more into like building my island up.
Yeah, I don't really. I've got two boys, and they're always talking about that. And my eldest asked me the other day, he was grounded for something or other, and he said, "Oh, but Dad, I've got to feed my villagers, or I've got to say hello, or they're going to something or other." I was like, "What are you
It's
talking
true.
about, mate?" He's
They
like,
get mad if you don't say hello to them.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
next time you come on, they say, I haven't seen you in 47 days. Where have you been? And I'm like, oh, calm down. Calm down.
yeah. Well, there's going to be weeds everywhere or something. I didn't know. I said, you
Yes.
grounded, mate. That's it. You can deal with it later. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, Animal Crossing goes along in real time. So, if it takes weeds, 7 days to grow in real life, that's how long it takes to grow in Animal Crossing. So if you don't play for a while, when you get back, you have to pull all those weeds, and it's kind of annoying.
So it sounds pretty mirroring of real life.
Yes.
All right. So what would you think your greatest success would be in Upland to date?
I don't actually think I have one. I'm waiting on that to come. I feel like my greatest success is going to be buying an aquarium, which I haven't been able to do yet. So I really wanted to buy the one that was on Coney Island, but, I didn't have the money at the time to do it. So, Shed Aquarium in Chicago, I got my eye on you.
Any particular reason?
I love sea creatures. I was also thinking that maybe if I had the aquarium, I could sell like sea creature NFTs out of it as a business.
Nice. Sounds like we need to get partnered up with my business, Samurai Aquatics.
That sounds like it would be a very nice partnership.
Yeah, I actually come from, I'm a marine biologist, fisheries biologist by trade before I got into kindergarten teaching. So yeah, I love all that sort of stuff too.
I'm learning so much about you.
Yeah, there's always lots of layers to people.
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool. So you think your greatest success is ahead of you?
Yes. But I mean, I've only been playing a few months. I don't really think that my best times are behind me yet.
Nice. So how about your greatest failure then, you think?
My greatest failure, I really think, was just not taking the time to really learn more about the game before I like dove headfirst in. Like I would have done so many things differently. Like you said, I wouldn't have traveled, right away. I wouldn't have, skipped over all of those FSAs that I could have bought that I, wasted time with. But, it's okay. Live and learn. Everybody is still learning. There's still new things that we haven't even learned yet, probably about like Spark and property building and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to, after I get done talking to you, I'm going to try and put a video together about some of the Spark situations that have come up. But yeah, reflecting back on when I started, there was no Discord. There was no real community at all. It was loosely on Telegram. But if you've ever used Telegram, it's pretty much a nightmare to keep track of anything.
Yeah, I also have Telegram and don't understand it. So I feel like Discord's definitely easier.
Absolutely. So what keeps you playing nowadays?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What keeps you playing the game nowadays?
Now it's actually the community. you know, more than the game, because in the game there's like basically nothing for me to do right this second other than flip properties. So now that, you know, I have UDU, like I have the Reddit to do, I've got like all these various tasks for different people to do, I've got, you know, Instagram to do. I have so many things. I'm always working on something, or I'm trying to think of ideas of things to work on for it. So it keeps me busy, and I love how, you know, everybody is just so nice, and anytime I need something or I like have a question, I can just, you know, DM anybody and they always answer me and they're nice. I love the community aspect of it.
Awesome. So you started off in San Francisco, you moved to Manhattan, you jumped on over to Brooklyn. Have you taken part in any of the other releases, any of the recent ones?
Yeah. I was in Staten Island and I was in Bakersfield. I didn't really get very much in either of them, but that's okay because I wasn't really that interested in either of those cities. Just because, you know, I've never been to either of them. I don't really know much about either of them, but I just wanted to go and grab a few things, which I did.
Nice. And so where do you feel you're based in the game?
Well, I did feel like I was based in Brooklyn, but, you know, I've recently moved into MTU. So now I feel like MTU is my home because that's where I'm going to build my large condo when I get a chance to.
Awesome. That sounds good. So what are some of the features that we know that are coming down the pipeline that you're really interested in or excited about?
One of them is definitely maybe we're going to be able to get our own vehicles. I think it would be really exciting to be able to, you know, drive your own car anywhere you want. You don't have to, you know, wait on, you know, the bus or the ferry or the train. You can just jump in your own car and go. And I'm hoping that they're going to be, you know, NFTs that you can import in, so it can be the kind of car you want, the color, you know, everything like that. I'm excited about the personalization of everything that's coming up.
Cool, yeah. In one of the meetings, or I think it was the UDU meeting this morning, AN1 James Pickett mentioned something about cars and how having access to properties, and that got me thinking, where are we going to park all these cars? Is that going to be a business? Is car parks or something going to be a business? I mean, I imagine you can't just leave it on the street, or, you know, like when we step away currently, our Block Explorer just goes and does its thing. Are our cars just going to drive around randomly, or I don't know?
I wonder if you can stick it in front of your house, because I know, I mean, I have a driveway where I live, but if, you know, you live in the city, most people do just have street parking. Maybe you can just park it right in front of your house.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the things that I'm going to look into next, which I've brought up several times with the team, is the scale of the buildings that we have currently. A lot of the properties, like the actual land in the game, it says you can't build a property there because your land's not big enough. But if you go to the street view, there's actually like a 2-story house there. So it kind of doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all, because they did say in that AMA that it's, you know, supposed to mirror real life as much as possible. And, you know, why would you buy a property to live on if you can't even fit a house there? That's silly.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll get into that a bit later. So you're in the MTU. Is there any other areas that you're thinking about for property development?
Not yet. I mean, eventually, maybe I might do something in Brooklyn, because there are a few places on Coney Island that I have some properties that I really like, and I might eventually build those up. But, you know, it sounds like from your experiences with the Spark, we don't get very much, and it takes forever to build things. So I have a feeling after I build my own personal house at MTU, I will probably, you know, loan out my Spark to, you know, somebody else that needs it before I start building things in other cities.
Yeah, or there will be the option to lease it onto the Spark Exchange and make yourself some UPEX or something like that. Yep.
Well, you know, as soon as all my friends have their houses built, then maybe I'll do that.
Nice. Yeah. I actually went and reconfigured some of the buildings I put up this morning, and I wanted, as I talked about in the UDU meeting, I want lots of buildings going up. So I reconfigured to the minimum amount of Spark stakeable, and yeah, now that's stretched it out to 526 days construction time. But
oh my
I'm assuming
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's all going to be adjusted, because that's, you know, that's not That's not
I
workable
mean,
at all.
that's not real world. I mean, I bought my house here and had it built, and I was there the day that they, knocked down the foundation from the other one. And from that day till the day that we moved in, it was like 3-4 months. Like it wasn't that long.
Yeah, that's pretty typical in Australia, 2, 3, 4 months, maybe 6 at a stretch if there was weather problems or something like
But
that.
definitely not more than a year. Like that's definitely not mirroring real life.
No, but yeah, hopefully they get that sorted out. All right, so I like the sounds of your aquatic NFT sort of thing. Is that the only business idea you've had kicking around? Do you have any other ideas or?
Angela and I might have a little something going on, but it's something that we very recently started talking about yet. So, I don't really want to talk about it yet because we haven't gotten the details down.
Nice.
But there's a collaboration in the works.
Already, cool. I like it. Nice. So where do you see the game in a year? I'm asking everybody, if we sat down for a chat in 1 year's time, what are we going to be talking about?
I mean, I have a feeling that we're probably still going to be talking about, property development and business development. I have a feeling that at first people are probably going to do residential because, they want to have like a home base. But after that, they're going to go for businesses. And that's when the business areas are going to be going up. But apparently it's going to take a while for that to happen. So I think we're still going to be interested in that next year.
I might be celebrating the completion of my first building.
Yes.
It's a depressing thought. Yeah, it's a bit of a worry actually, because I have a business license in hand. I'm getting ready to go, but obviously I have to construct a building for that. I don't want to construct a small building, but
no,
it's going to take that long. Anyway, that's a bit of a worry. But how about in 5 years? What's the 5-year plan?
I don't even know. Like things they change so quickly from like month to month. I don't really think I can think 5 years out, other than maybe international. I mean, they've kind of hinted around at Hong Kong, they've hinted around, at England, but we haven't seen anything of that yet other than like the NFTs with, miles all over the place. But I don't know. It's 5 years is just too far to think about for me.
Nice. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. In 5 years, anything could happen, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all evolves. Yeah, I mean, as you said, everything changes so quickly, even week to week, especially with the stuff that yourself and everybody else is getting involved in UDU. Yeah, it's pretty chaotic.
It's just like right now playing, just a few months after I started, everything I feel like is completely different, but completely different in a good way. So, I'm excited for what's coming up. Yeah,
it's the ideas aren't the limiting factor. It's everybody's personal free time, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's definitely that way for myself. So moving on to all things UDU or the UDU. We touched on it briefly, how you got involved. Maybe you can speak to how long you've been involved. Do you remember when you first got in? Officially?
Yeah, April 22nd was the first time that I ever messaged DJ. I had been in general, and somebody named Liquid Emoji, who I don't really know, like I haven't really talked to them, but they're always in general. They had UDU like after their name, and it seemed like a recent thing. And, they were talking about how they joined. So, I just DM'd them and I said, well, how do you join? Like, can you tell me more about it? And they said, message DJ and ask him, or message you. But, DJ was there. So I messaged him. And, like 9,000 messages later, here I am.
Yeah. I had a look through our DMs, and we've only been chatting since the 5th of May. So not that long ago at all, really. But I was aware that you were talking to DJ and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I started helping him out with, his YouTube channel and his Instagram before I even started on the Reddit. So I started his stuff, and then I was told about the Reddit, and I was introduced to Arlen Koba, Adam, And, we started working on the Reddit together. And then that's about when I started talking to you.
Is there anything you could tell us about the Reddit? Like, I've jumped in and got involved a bit. I try and have a look every now and then. Where can people get involved or check that stuff out?
They can just go to Reddit /r/Upland UDU, and you will be there. It is unrestricted now, so anybody can join, UDU, not UDU, anybody. And I wish they would, because we don't even have 40 members yet, so it's kind of quiet in there. I've posted a few polls and contests. I know you posted a contest. A couple other people have posted things here and there, but it's pretty quiet in there. I feel like something needs to be done to really get things started and going and get conversations going, but I'm not quite sure what it is. I think we have to think about that and maybe coordinate, with a few different people to try and get the involvement a little higher there. I mean, I think we just don't have enough people yet.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Like, we know with the UDU Academy, I feel like that's only just started to find its feet now. And that's been ticking on for, a month or so. So yeah, it's probably just a case of patience and keeping up with it.
I mean, if you could make it a requirement for them to graduate from the academy to join the Reddit, hey, that'd be great.
There you go. Sounds good. We can work something like that out, or maybe that is part of the process. Have you subscribed to the channel? Have you checked out DJ's Twitter? Have you checked? Are you on the official Twitter account? It's definitely something to consider.
I just started his Twitter, and it's kind of sad right now. He only has 16 followers on Twitter, but I just started it like a week ago. So give it time; it'll get there.
So it seems like you've taken on almost a community manager role for him.
Yeah, I mean, in jobs I've done before, I have written blogs for this company called Deal Dash for 7 years now. So that includes, doing their blogs, sometimes like responding to the comments, and, it's all basically just work in the social media. So I've been doing that a long time. So when he said that, he needed some help with that, it was, part of my expertise, I guess. So.
No, that sounds good. So we know that you saw like Liquid Emojis branding on his name, and you reached out to DJ. Was there anything in particular, or something that came up where you thought, oh yes, I definitely want to get involved in this? Was there a turning point, or?
I mean, just that day, I feel like I had seen UDU like everywhere. Like when you buy a new car and you never really noticed that kind of car before, but then you're driving around and like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. It just seemed like I was seeing UDU everywhere. So I was like, I need to see what's going on with this. So after Liquid Emoji said to DM DJ, the first thing DJ did was he sent me a link to the most recent team meeting, which I think was number 4 at that time. And after I watched it, I got kind of excited. I was like, oh, this is something I'd like to be a part of. It's like, it's a real community. It's like friends working together to get things done. So that's what made me want to join.
Yeah, we're not sacrificing goats and planning on taking over the whole world, as some people think. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. So it seems like you're pretty active within everything that we've got going on.
I would say I'm very active. There's not a day that goes by that I don't do something UDU related.
Awesome. So is that what you feel your role is currently within the UDU, like a kind of community manager, or where do you feel you sit in the overall?
I definitely
picture?
sit somewhere in the social media management area. I mean, I'm happy to help out in other areas if you guys need it, but that's where I feel most comfortable.
Nice. And what's something that you think we do well, or we have been doing well so far?
I would say the thing that I have felt that you guys do the best is being inclusive for everybody. Angela and I might be the only women now, but she's been a member for a while. I think she's number 18. I was excited because she had an 8 in her name. And she said she had, felt maybe a little lonely that there were no other women, but, very few women play the game. And she was excited when I came on, and everybody has been so nice to me. I've been online forever, and being a woman online can be kind of scary and disgusting at times with the things that guys say, but no one has ever been disrespectful to me. No one has ever said anything to me that made me feel weird. Like, just inclusivity is good. And also, you guys started the foreign language, which I think is also, really good and becoming, it's just inviting to everybody. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I do still owe more cheese an apology. I think we've been DMing her for a while, and I think I called her, right on, man. I think I said that about 3 or 4 times before the penny dropped, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. So yeah.
Well, I mean, if you didn't know that she was a woman, I mean, her Block Explorer is a piece of cheese. It's a woman cheese, but I mean, maybe it could go either way. I mean, I know some people have female-esque Block Explorers that are actually guys. So
yeah, well, that's a new addition too. I think prior to her custom Block Explorer, I think she was the rat. So yeah.
Well, rat cheese. It makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so what else do you think we could do? What could we improve on? Whether that's yourself personally or us as a core group?
As a group, I mean, I'm not sure if you already have something like this, but what I think, what I've been thinking about, these past few weeks, what would be really helpful is if we had some kind of master list, maybe somewhere on the Discord that has every member's name and what they're working on currently. Because, Arlen Koba, he does, the Reddit, he does, the Academy, he does this, he does that. And lots of other people work on the social media. And at first I didn't even know, but the features now, he's the one that, runs the Insta for UDU. And I didn't know that. So if there was a list with everybody's name, what they're working on, and, how to get in touch with them, I think that would be really helpful, because I've had some questions, when I was making the banner for Reddit, I used some of Screw's artwork, and I, didn't get in touch with him, and I was worried he was like going to be upset. But, finally I was able to, find him on Discord and say, hey, is this okay? And he was like, yeah, it's for everybody to use, it's cooperative. So I don't know. I think that would be helpful. And if you already have something like that, if you could tell me where it is, that would be great.
Yeah, that information's kind of all out there, but it is all over the place. It is kind of set out a bit more structured, like the social media team, this is who's looking after what. That's in the handbook, which is still ongoing. I'm afraid that by the time I finally get that finished and pushed out, it's going to be completely out of date. So we'll see how we go, because everything just changes so quickly. But yeah, I know Uplando's finishing up the code of conduct, and once we get that in, it should be a matter of, I think I just got to get it out there, and then we can update it and change things after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would also be helpful to find something else for yours, to do. Like, maybe I have some extra time and I want to help somebody with something, but I don't know who to ask, who needs help. So I could go down the list and say, oh, they're doing this, I could do that. They're doing this, maybe they could show me how to do it, and then I could do it. So I think it would be helpful in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm writing that down. Very good. Yeah, that's pretty simple to do, just to copy and paste in Discord somewhere. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm really looking forward to, the Upland tome that Uplando has been writing. I've seen like bits and pieces of it, and, there were, pictures from Human Simulation, with the travel maps and stuff. I think it's going to be, really good once he gets it finished. And he's already said that we could put it, on the Reddit as the wiki. So that's going to be really good when he gets finished with that.
Nice. And just going back to the Reddit, well, what do you think it's like? What do you think its role or its purpose is?
I just feel like its purpose is to get more people interested, maybe educate people a little bit, not only on Upland, but also on UDU. Like, a lot of people, they don't know what we do. They think, we go into neighborhoods and buy everything up and there's nothing left for everybody else, but that's not true. Like, look at Grant City, like buying the properties, so we can start a community node to help people. Like, I feel like, Reddit's there to educate and, get people excited about the game.
Yeah, I like the idea of Reddit because when I used to do game development as a bit of a hobby, I was right into Reddit, and I think there's an opportunity there to get people who might not even know about Upland involved, whether it's through different cross
Yes.
promotional things and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was when Arlen first started talking about Reddit. That was kind of what I envisioned, and I certainly wasn't expecting it to come out as good as it did with all the work you put in. So thank you very much for all that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it. I was so like worried and nervous before I made my Reddit presentation, like the slideshow. I was so scared that everyone is going to say like, oh, that's stupid. Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But nobody was like that. Nobody's like, no criticisms. Everybody's so positive. It like made me feel really good.
Yeah, I think especially those of us that are involved in building UDU, I think we can all appreciate and we know how much time goes involved into those sort of things. So yeah, anything that anybody does that helps out in that sort of respect is very, very much appreciated. And looks like you're frozen up on me right at the end. Oh, there you go. So yeah, I was just saying that. I was just saying that.
Yeah, you're frozen a little bit.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Of course, yeah, and I mean, of course, Arlen Koba and I are, we welcome suggestions, and if anybody wants anything changed, of course we can do that or add to it. I was just worried people are going to be mean about it. We're totally open to constructive criticism.
Nice. So if people did want to reach out and help you or see what you've got going on, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they could contact me on Reddit, where I am Tentacles and Cupcakes, or I mean, Discord is probably easier because I have my alerts on and I have my phone all day. So they can usually contact me pretty quick if they do it on Discord.
Nice. And did you have anything?
I'm Octocupcakes.
Yes. And did you have anything else to share or that you would like to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just wanted to give some of my Upland friends a shout out, because that's really what has made Upland for me. My first friend on Upland is Dr. Crispy, who actually I think is interested in joining UDU. I told him that he should DM you and get things started. He was brand new, and we both took part in the Easter scavenger hunt. He had done the one in San Francisco, and I was doing the one on the East Coast, and he placed in it, and he was giving me tips, and I was like, oh, I don't even think I'm gonna bother, because I never win stuff, like I'm not good at stuff like that. He was like, no, here's what you do, here's this, and I ended up placing like 9th place, but I did place. So he was my first Upland friend. Human Simulation is also a good friend of mine. He had made those maps and he had put them in the new players, and I reached out and I said, I really like your maps, can I put them in the Reddit? And he got excited about it. So we have become friends from that. And DJ Schwartz, he's helped me so much. He's the one that got me moved into MTU, and he's kind of been my mentor, I guess, even though he said he doesn't want to be anybody's mentor. He's got so much stuff going on. But Arlen Koba, so helpful with the Reddit, so nice. Uplando, also so nice. He helped me so much with my presentation. And of course, More Cheese, that's my girl. We talk every day. She cheers me up, she helps me out, and she is she's a great friend. And last but not least, you, Ben, you share your number with me, you help me, you share some of your favorite music with me. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm so thankful for all my friends.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's something we skipped over too. Yeah, we got talking backwards and forwards when we first got in contact about you moving into the UDU. And yeah, we share a lot of similar history as far as musical tastes and that sort of thing. So that was cool to have those kind of little connections.
Yeah, you had actually mentioned that you had, kind of bonded with Angela over music at one point in time, I think on one of the meetings. And I got to thinking, I wonder if they bonded over music. I wonder what he's into. So that's when, I was like, oh, maybe we have something in common, and we did. So that was cool.
Yeah, and I also like it's cool to see like yourself, Morchis, Uplando, Arawahu, engaging in things outside of Upland, but you're still within the friendship. Like I keep getting invites to Zoom meetings, but it's like right when I'm bathing the kids, or it's always horrible timing for me, but that's really cool to see.
Time zones are hard. I mean, all of us are, like we're in 3 different time zones, but we get together and play, Cards Against Humanity. We, just chat on Zoom. It's, it's not just a game for me. I feel like I've made like real, true friends, which is, really wonderful.
Yeah, and that's something we skipped over too. Is it just a game? But obviously not.
No, it's not just a game. Like I had, I mean, everybody had a hard time in quarantine, but I had a really, really hard time in quarantine. Like everything just kind of fell apart, and I was, playing way, way, way too many like Switch games, like all by myself. Like I was, I didn't talk to anybody like other than my kids. But, now when I got involved in Upland, like I'm actually, I feel like I'm more social again and less isolated.
That's awesome. And yeah, our community is definitely the richer for having you come on board. And yeah, we love seeing what you're all about and looking forward to more.
Thank you.